Welcome. I wanted to do this final blog in 2014 on the topic of love. And I guess the question is, why do I want to do this? Because so much has been written and sung and talked about in terms of this topic. And as I looked at why I wanted to speak out about love and add my 2 bits in, it's really because I've been making a shift within my perspective of love, a shift that I think is so important and is what the world needs. I grew up with, I think, a pretty normal perspective on love, that it was a wonderful thing. I wanted to be loved by someone special, and when that happened, I felt very blessed to be loved. I had no idea that I was actually embracing a concept that had some limitations, that being loved by family, friends, special people, and even this concept of, soulmate, is all what the Course in Miracles calls special love. Well, special love I thought was terrific. But as I've come to learn, I can see that the special loving that I was doing and that I was immersed in had some discrimination built right into it. Without realizing, I was unconsciously sifting and sorting who was lovable and who wasn't. So I know when I use the term discrimination, that's a pretty strong word. And for some of you, you may even be offended. But I'd like you to just listen a little bit further as I explore why I think this concept works against us. So, as I look at how do I discern who's lovable and who isn't, what I've realized is that my ego is constantly gathering data and noticing right and wrong, good and bad, and so on. And that's all the data that I use to make those judgments. And when you make those judgments, you're automatically excluding. So it seems very challenging to imagine what would you do instead. I mean, this data's coming in through my eyes and ears, even my nose. What am I supposed to do? Just ignore that data? No, we can't do that. If you try to convince yourself that something that seems unpleasant is really pleasant, you'll just get caught in a trap that I see so many people caught in, where they're arguing and fighting with themselves, trying to convince themselves that something is good when they feel like it isn't. I don't think that's the answer. The problem is that when I'm evaluating things from the mind, it's going to automatically have judgment built in. So you may be wondering, what's the alternative? Well, I believe, and I'm discovering more and more, the alternative is to be living and experiencing life from your heart, from an open heart, from a place that's quite different. And so I'd like you to take a moment now and see what it's like for yourself. Just take a moment, think inside. When was a time when you felt your heart was open? Really open, expansive. Sometimes it's easy to think of situations that are sort of the pinnacles. Maybe it's the birth of a child, or falling in love, or times of creativity. Just take a moment and think of one situation where you really could feel your heart was open. Yeah. As I do that, the situation that comes to mind really allows me to feel the expansiveness of my heart. I can feel it expanding and being what I call non-specific. I just feel open, I feel generous, I feel trusting. There's a sense of goodwill that I just want to extend to everybody around me. That's what I believe our heart is capable of. That's what I believe our heart really wants and our spirit wants, to be feeling that expansiveness. So that's a place and a way of seeing and living that I think could enhance our world tremendously. One of the things that's really interesting is I have to be willing then to release the mind and my desire to know and to be sifting and sorting right and wrong. And what I found to be really helpful in that journey of letting go of some of that is Byron Katie's work. Her inquiry process takes you deeper and deeper into any thought you hold or anything that you believe is true. And what I've discovered is that so much of what I've thought was true is really something that traps me. It doesn't free me. And so we can release that if we're willing to be brave enough, if you like, to examine core beliefs that we've maybe been raised on and thought absolutely were true. I recently heard an Oprah interview with Timothy Shriver, and he is the head of the Special Olympics, and his mother, Eunice, founded the Special Olympics. And in this interview, Timothy talks with Oprah about what he's learned profoundly from people with special needs or limitations. And one of the things that's very interesting is it seems that when one of our capabilities is limited or reduced, other facets of ourselves come to the fore. We know that in terms of sight or hearing. Well, with the Special Olympians, what Timothy discovered is this incredible open-heartedness, the inclusion. And he discovered, he says, the key is being brave. And so he offers a challenge, almost like a prayer each day. Please let me be brave. And those words really echoed for me. I just felt them in my heart. And so I wanted to include them this morning and to say, could we all be brave enough to really examine a concept of how we love, and brave enough to really step into the opportunity that I think awaits us if we're willing to feel and see and know the world through our heart, through that open curiosity, that childlike wonder. And so as we approach this Christmas season, what I would love to say to you is, may you have as many moments as possible of open-heartedness, of curiosity, of love, and of joy. I heard a quote that one of the ways, the easiest ways to know joy is to be easily pleased. So may you be easily pleased this Christmas season. May you have lots of connections, lots of fulfillment. And as we close this year, let's all do that with a heart of gratitude and appreciation for the amazing year that has passed, and welcome in the new year. I wish you the very best, and we'll see you in 2015.